I'm out in the underground greenhouse again, and right here you can see I'm out here with my garden box, and I decided I want to try some carrots. So I'm going to pour carrots along this back section here, and I got some of this super high quality garden soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some of this kind of along here so the carrots have a little bit nicer soil to start off in, and hopefully that helps them grow and mature quicker and better. Okay, so I have my spaghetti squash right there, and I'm gonna just put 10 carrots into this little section you see here. I've already poked the holes, and I just wanna see how carrots do in here as well. Okay, so I've dropped the carrot seeds in there. Now I'm just gonna cover them up really quick, and then I'll water them. Okay, because it's still too cold outside to turn on the water, and because we haven't gotten enough moisture, I'm out here watering the peas and the carrots. Okay, so I'm just out here, I'm just soaking. We got the rhubarb here behind me, make sure that gets nice and watered. And then you can see over here, we haven't had any carrots or peas pop up yet, but we gotta keep those seeds moist or else nothing will grow. Okay, because it's getting hot now and we haven't had enough moisture, I'm actually filling up these 3 buckets here so we'll have plenty of water to water the plants inside. But I think I'm gonna just take this hose inside the greenhouse and try to water all the plants really, really good because it's just been a little too dry. Okay, so I'm getting all these trees and bushes really good because they just haven't been getting enough water. Okay, so I'm out here by the weed-free garden box, and I am gonna plant spinach and lettuce out here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this Miracle Grow right here, and I'm gonna pour in a section over here, and so the seeds have some of this nice good garden soil to start in. Okay, so you can see where I poured out the Miracle Grow garden soil. It's a different color here, and you can see I've made holes for each one. Over here we're gonna do 10 spinaches, and over here we'll do 10 things of lettuce. Okay, this is probably the last thing I will do today. I've planted all of the lettuce and spinach, and now I'm just watering it, and we should be good to go. Well, I thought I was done for the day, but here I am back out in the greenhouse, and you can see in my hands here, I've got some potatoes, and I've buried another bucket here. So we have our 3rd bucket of potatoes ready to go, but if you look at these guys, we've got some potatoes that are ready to be planted. So I thought I better get out here and just get these in there. I put 3 in there, and I'm just going to gently pour some dirt in around those. Hey guys, it's Ty with Apocalyptic Gardening. And if you watched, I think it was my last show, there was actually snow on the ground, and it was 90 degrees inside the underground greenhouse, and that is just too hot. So I got myself a fan here, and then I'm gonna open up the window there, and then if you look right up there, you can see there's a black box that's actually covering the attic fan. So I'm gonna actually remove that today, try to get some airflow in the underground greenhouse. And the other thing is, it's awesome to have all the humidity in there because that moisture keeps the plants alive and moist and all that stuff. But you can't have it too humid in there. The plants won't do as well as they should, and it also breeds a lot of bugs that we don't want in there. So part of this is going to be airing it out, and it's time to get rid of a lot of that humidity that's in there. So the other thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to be removing a lot of the plants in there and putting them outside now that the temperatures are calming down a little bit out here. Also today, I'll be clearing a spot for our newest resident, which is being shipped to our house right now, and it's a new tree, and I'm really excited for this tree. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to keep watching to see what it is, but it should arrive in a few days here, and we'll put it in the ground. It is not a citrus tree like I already have down in there. This is gonna be a new kind of tree, so I'm super excited for that. And anyways, let's get going. Okay, so just so you know, it's about freezing outside, and inside here, you can see it's already nearly 65 degrees, so we're gonna get things flowing in here right away. Okay, first things first, we're gonna open up this window. Gonna open it up all the way, and then we're gonna stick this fan here. I'm gonna stick it here in the corner. Here, I'm putting it up on a brick so we can get it up here right by the window. Hopefully that is stable enough. And I'm gonna crank it all the way to 3. And then I think we want to move around, so. Okay, so as you can see behind me, I've got the fan cranking. Now I'm gonna go remove the barrel from the solar attic fan so that can get cranking. Because it's a solar attic fan, I don't want the fan going in the winter time. I put this giant box over it, and then of course this brick to help hold it down. So we're going to uncover this. And it's kind of dirty. This should turn on this fan here and help pull the heat out from the greenhouse. Okay, so looking right here, you can see I got a bunch of trees and plants here. I'm gonna get a lot of those outside today to just make space in here. And then if you look back in this corner up here, you'll see over there, I've got my weed-free garden box that I just recently built. But in this section here, hold on, let's move over there. So you can see this peach tree that's in a pot. I need to move that out of the way. That will be planted outside a little bit later, but I also need to get all this stuff out of the way here because we're gonna put the brand new tree right here in that section. Okay, well that's it for the day. Unfortunately, when I uncovered the attic fan, it wouldn't turn on, so I'm afraid it's broken, probably needs to be replaced. That being said, just having that space open and allowing some airflow, it did stay a little cooler in here today, but the big thing I did was I got a bunch of the trees out of the way right here, and I cleared the space for our new guest that will be moving in here shortly. So like I said earlier, any guesses? I'd love to hear what you think is coming in, and I'm just gonna flip the camera on really quick to show you what the area looks like now. Okay, so you can see how much clearer this space is now that those big trees are out of the way. And you can see this space here has been cleared now and it's ready for its new resident. Okay, so behind me here, you can see I have the grapefruit tree, and I'm gonna turn the camera around to give you a better view. But I have a problem here. This branch right here is really hanging low, so I'm gonna tie it up to the ceiling. Okay, so here you see the beautiful grapefruit tree, and you can see it's preparing to hopefully give us fruit, but I have a problem here. You can see this one branch here is really hanging low. So I'm gonna put a rope right here and try to pull it up, and we'll tie it to the ceiling right there to help that branch grow up instead of down. Okay, so you can see I've tied off the rope right there and brought it down to support this branch. And you can see it's nothing spectacular, but it will support this branch here and allow it to grow up instead of sideways. Okay, so I have a few little problems here in the underground greenhouse, and I need your help. So any suggestions would be very much appreciated. So this is what's happening. In the wintertime, it's just getting a little too cold in here. Not quite freezing, but that doesn't allow me to keep growing into the, late winter months or whatever. And in the summertime, it's just getting too hot. So I really need to find a way to stabilize the temperatures in the underground greenhouse. So here's the first problem. My fan right there has stopped working. So I'm not super bummed out about that because that fan really wasn't helping that much anyways. So I'm kind of wondering, do I try to replace that with a fan that's maybe a little more powerful, or do I just replace it with like some sort of like shutter vent, you know, something I can kind of open and close. Obviously something large, I need something large so we have a bunch of airflow kind of coming through here from the front door. You know, and then in the wintertime, I need to figure out some way to insulate or, you know, do I need to put in some kind of heater? I just don't know. I've read a lot of stuff and I'm trying to figure out what the best solution is for me. Obviously, one of the main points is to try to do something that's not expensive. I do have electricity. If you look over there, you can see I have electricity in here, so I can put electric heat in here if I wanted to. So, you know, I've got all these wonderful citrus trees behind me. I'd really love to at least extend deep into the fall so I can, you know, have time. You can see here, we're going to get fruit here, but will I have time? Will it have time to grow before I can take it off the tree and eat it? So those are my dilemmas. So anything you can do, any suggestions you have, or any great articles or blogs or YouTube channels that you've seen, please pass them on. I'm really curious here, and I'm kind of trying to make a decision soon. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll just catch you on the next show. So you can see here, we're starting to get some little flowers blooming on the orange trees, and we've got some that will be coming pretty soon here. So we are hoping to get oranges this year. All right, before we call it a day, just want to show you a couple of things here. You can see these are the first potatoes that I planted. And so if you look right here, you can see one of the potatoes is already popping up. And then you can see I've got another one popping up right here. And you can hardly see it, but there's actually a third one popping up there. As far as the strawberries go, we actually have our very first strawberry popping up. You can see it right there. So that's exciting. You can see here, I repotted the biggest cactus there, and I accidentally broke off the arm. Oops, hopefully that's okay. We put the arm in that little bucket there to see if it would continue to grow or whatever. I'm not sure what happened. I've never grown cactuses before. Over here, you can see the spaghetti squash. It's growing nice and big. And then over here, you can see we've got tomatoes popping up now. Cauliflower everywhere. We've got watermelon right there popping up. The large tomatoes are popping up. We have cantaloupe popping up and onions. And then over here, you can see these are the ones we planted later in the season. Like 2 weeks later, you can see the cucumber and spaghetti squash are growing there. We finally, if you look here, we finally have our first peppers growing. And then you can see here, we've got our cucumbers, they're growing. I've got some more cucumber up here. We've got our little onion plants here. And then these ones really haven't started to grow yet. Okay, so last we have the weed-free garden box. You can see the cucumber and spaghetti squash are growing well there. The carrots, nothing's popped up there yet. And then right here, if you remember from a couple days ago, I cleaned out this corner. We are getting a new guest in a couple of days here. We'll be getting a new resident, I guess I should say, not a guest. We'll be getting a new resident here. We'll be planting a tree right here. It is not a citrus tree. And I would love to hear your guesses as to what we're getting. Okay, so out in the garden, you can also see the first peas starting to sprout. Okay, that's it for this show. Thank you for watching. Once again, if you found it enjoyable, please give my video a thumbs up. And if you want to kind of follow the progress of this greenhouse and everything that's happening in here, please hit the subscribe button below and ring that bell so you're updated each time I post a new video. And we'll just see you next time.